Hey guys, we're at Big Brother Canada, season 10, episode 28. All right, last time we had JC Lynn going home, making the final four, Betty, Helena, Josh, and Kevin. So it basically comes down to, well, Josh won the HOH, and he put up Kevin and Betty on the block. And it pretty much comes down to whoever wins the veto pretty much gets to decide who goes home. So it doesn't really matter who's on the block in this point. All right. I'm thinking that the reason Josh did what he did is that he wanted, he said that he wanted to not put Helena on the block because she's never been on the block before. And he wanted to use that against her to say that she's never had to fight for her life in the game. But she had so many accolades besides that it wouldn't really matter. So it didn't make sense for him to even do that. But that's basically his justification for it. I'm thinking he's doing it to sort of make it seem like, just in case there's a possibility that one of them wins the veto, to make it seem that he's still with them and he still wants to be part of their crash test dummy 3-person alliance that they started very early on in the game. So that's why I'm thinking he's doing that. All right. So this time it's going to be a quick, this episode is a quick veto and an eviction. I think they said like 1 hour. They have 1 hour to participate in the veto competition and then evict somebody. All right, so let's see. There's a lot of strategizing. Everyone's trying to see where where everyone's heads at. I'm thinking like Helena and Kevin pretty much trying to bank on that alliance, and hopefully that Josh will keep his word, even though he didn't when he won the HOH, when he already promised them that he would give it to them. All right. This veto competition was rather interesting. All right, let's see if I can get a little picture there. All right, so it's basically some sewer designed puzzle. All right, so they have to slide through below here to get to these grates. As you can see, 1, 2, there's 2 over there, but there's I believe there's 4 in total. When they get to the grate, they start out with a key. The first key opens one of the grates, so they have to find out which grate gets opened by the key. And once they open the grate, then you have to wipe away the dirt over on this area right here, which will reveal the question to the puzzle. All right, so the puzzle is it's pretty much going to be a series of house guests as the answers, and they have to place the pictures of those house guests in the blocks right here above the question. And if they get it right, they get another key that's going to drop down. And what you see, this pipe coming out here, the key is going to drop down that pipe. And when it's correct, you have to do all 4 puzzles and then slide through all the way to the end, to the beginning, and press the buzzer to locking the time. All right. So it's a very interesting competition. The first one to go was Elena. She was very efficient sliding through there. I was actually kind of surprised. She was very efficient sliding through there. She made a mistake in one of the questions that she kind of blanked on. I think it was like something about who competed in a veto competition on day 29 and 43. She couldn't remember what happened on day 29. I believe she was confusing. The answer was, I believe it was JC Lynn, but she put herself in that spot. She thought she was the one competing instead of JC Lynn. So despite making that mistake, I think she was very efficient going through there. The next one to go, I believe, was Betty. All right. Betty, she was very slow going through the competition. She was kind of sluggish. She got most of the questions pretty quickly, so she didn't mess up on that. She was just moving very slow through the thing. And the next after that was Kevin. Kevin, I don't know if he has some sort of spatial awareness problem, but he got turned around right away, and he spent a lot of time just kind of fumbling through the puzzle, and he couldn't even, the main thing was finding the greats so he can answer the questions. He found the first one, and then he couldn't find another one. He just kept going around in circles and keep coming back to the same one that he did before. It was sort of bumbling and kind of stuff you would expect from Kevin in a competition, especially something so critical. All right, after Kevin was Josh. Josh was very fast through the competition. I don't think he made many mistakes. I think he made one mistake where he got one answer incorrect, and he had to go back and exchange one picture for another one. Yeah, but he moved very quickly through it. In the end, the times was, I believe Betty took 42 minutes. She was the slowest. She took 42 minutes through the competition. Kevin took 35 minutes through the competition. Better than Betty. I don't know why Betty was so slow this time. She's been killing competitions lately, and this one seems like back to basics for her. And after Kevin, Elena took 25 minutes to finish the competition. It's 10 minutes faster than Kevin. I mean, she's really killing it. Like, she's a big threat in this game to anyone that's playing. And the fastest was, in fact, Josh at 17 minutes. Fantastic stuff, man. Now he has the HOH, and he gets to pretty much choose who votes to evict whoever. So all the power in his hand. And now we go to JC Lynn getting to the jury house. Not much was revealed, except for it's looking like the people that has the worst reputation towards in the jury is Josh and Helena, which I figured they were the worst at jury management. Helena by far the worst, but Josh was just he kept trying to act confused and bumbling every time he had to make a major decision. And people have to sort of coax him and try to convince him to do something every single time you have to make a major decision, which is not good jury management. You look like you're bumbling. If you look like you're bumbling through the game while you're making targeted strikes at certain people to get rid of them, and you're making strategic moves, but you're making it look like you don't know what you're doing, the jury is going to feel a certain way about it when they go home because you're indecisive. And that's what he's doing, and it's just not good for his game. But I don't see why, personally, if he didn't do that, I don't think any of them would really feel that way about him, because he was playing a pretty good game. None of the people he really got out were really on his side, except for maybe Summer, but yeah, just bad jury management. All right. Yeah, it was revealed that JC Lynn and Gino are gonna go steady after the show. I don't really care. Could care less about their romance. All right. The only one that's trying to be impartial so far is Marty. He every other jury member is kind of salty, and they're taking things personally, which I would too. Shit, I wanted to win. If I wanted to win that money and you are up to win that money, I'm not going to decide based on who played the best game. Decide based on whose game I like. So it's always going to be personal, and you have nothing to lose. It's like you're going to lose the money by being a bad jury person. Like, come on, might as well go personal. Go personal, go home. Well, I still have to go home either way. All right, but now that Josh has the power, he talked to Betty. and he asked her, who would you, if I used a veto on you, who would you vote out? And she said Kevin, unless you tell me something different. And then Kevin and Helena talked to Josh, and he's still just like acting confused and he doesn't know what to do. And they're pitching to him that Betty has an underdog story. Anyone sitting next to Betty is going to lose. You don't want to keep Betty in this game. Just like they pitched that to him for a good maybe 10 to 20 minutes. They were all pitching that he should get rid of Betty. Helena and Kevin was pitching that, and Betty came in at a certain point, and she was also trying to pitch something to him as well, and probably the same thing that she was pitching before. Got down to the final moment, and Josh used the power veto on Betty. I'm surprised because the way they were pitching it to him, I was thinking that he was actually believing it. I was thinking that he's really gonna get rid of Betty, but which wouldn't make sense at all because Helena is a better competitor than Betty is. Helena has more wins. Helena is more capable of beating him. Because the final is going to come down eventually to sort of a, damn it, it's going to be a memory comp. The final is going to come down to that. There's going to be some physical competitions, but ultimately it's going to be a memory comp that's going to decide who gets to take who to the final. And Kevin was trying to pitch that Betty has done well at those things and can possibly beat him. But I definitely think it would be Helena that would beat him. Like, that's ridiculous. That's a ridiculous argument. But he seemed like he was buying it, but then ultimately he used the power veto on Betty, and Betty voted out Helena, which means Josh told her to get rid of Helena instead of Kevin, which is a great move all around. Josh might just actually win this just by making that move. The next person he has to get rid of, the next person he has to get rid of is Betty, but if he takes Kevin with him, Kevin could win. Betty could win as well. Oh, he might be screwed. I mean, Kevin could win just of being the most strategic player and the one behind the scenes manipulating everything. Betty could win out of just the improvements that she's made in her game, and I don't think she's pissed off any of the jury. Oh man. Oh damn, he's in a sticky situation. I don't know how it's gonna go. It's gonna depend on what kind of wins he has under his belt. If he wins the last two to take him to the end, if he wins either the first or the second competition, and then the third one, if he wins that, that's two more wins under his belt. He might be able to cinch it, but damn, man. I guess it's a hard spot to be in, but he doesn't really know how the jury perceives him. So he probably doesn't know that it's actually a problem, but we're going to see how it goes. Until next time.